Suddenly, he's not just healed, something's recreated. There's no muscle tone, the ligaments, the tendons, all that stuff. None of that is operating. And so suddenly he's remade, he's reformed, he's recreated in that moment. And he's told, pick up your bed and walk, and he does it. And as he's walking along, the Pharisees and the religious leaders see him, and they say to him, why are you carrying your bed on the Sabbath? And he says, the man who healed me told me to carry my bed. Here's what's interesting. They don't say, you got healed? They don't say, what were you healed from? They don't say, tell me your story. They don't say, what has God done in your life? They say, it's the Sabbath, you're breaking the law. This is not the way I understand it. This is not the way it should be. They are pushing for their understanding, their interpretation. They can't see the miracle God's done because they're stuck in the rules that they've made. They're stuck in their traditions. They're stuck in the way they believe things are supposed to be. Their opinions about how God works and God doesn't work is being blown up right in front of them, and they are trying their best to hold it all together. Can't be this way. Can't be a man of God. Can't have done this on the Sabbath. That's why earlier in John 7, Jesus says, you circumcise on the Sabbath, but I can't heal on the Sabbath. So you can make sure the law doesn't get broken, but I can't make someone whole on the Sabbath. And basically he's saying, do you hear how crazy this is? Scriptures say that from that moment, they started persecuting Jesus. So imagine that your persecution begins because you healed someone. And you've heard me say this, on the wrong day. Friday morning, it's a miracle. Sunday morning, it's a miracle. But Saturday, no chance. And we look back and we're like, that is insane. Aren't we all? Don't we all have some stuff that we believe, that we can start seeing by Scripture and the Spirit? Maybe this isn't the way that God really wants me to believe, and yet we're like, but I've always believed it. It's the way I was taught. I can't tell you how many times I was told, well, I was taught, that's okay. But what does the Scripture say? I was taught a whole bunch of stuff that when I started reading the Scriptures found, that's actually not right. It's actually not the way that God wrote it. It's actually not the way that it's meant to be interpreted. It's why the Word works, but we have a tendency to work against the Word. And so they started persecuting Jesus because he had healed someone on the Sabbath. And then Jesus says to them, my Father is always at work, therefore I too am working. And they throw their hands up again and say, wait a minute, your Father, now he made himself equal with God. And now they went from persecuting him to trying to figure out, we've got to kill him. We have literally no choice. We have to kill him now. Do we see how far our preferences will take us if we don't acknowledge they're just our preferences? Do we see how far our opinions will take us if we won't acknowledge these are just my opinions? Do we see, but here's another part. Do we see how far God will go to turn upside down the stuff we're sure of, to show us that we don't know as much as we think we do, but also to show us his heart so that we can actually know him to the depths of our being, just instead of just skimming across the top where a lot of us are settling to live?